Alongside Grant Ramey, I'm Rob Lewis. This is the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break on Volquest.com. And Grant, 7 scholarship players, the number 5 team in the country. What could go wrong?
Just like you expected. No Zakai Ziegler, no Igor Milicic, and Tennessee wins by 20 against a team that beat them by 30 3 weeks ago in Gainesville. I mean, that's college basketball right there for you.
It's not. I mean, lowest point total, shooting percentage for the. I mean, it was a master class in defense, and then. Tennessee could win this game scoring 45 points against the 5th-ranked team in the country, but really found some offense in the second half and turned it into a blowout.
I mean, Todd Golden said after the game, if you told me before that they were going to score 64 points, he thought Florida would have won the game.
I guarantee it.
And they were atrocious on offense as well. He said, I mean, Tennessee had a lot to do with that because they played. It was kind of like a week ago at Auburn. Some of the 40 of the best defensive minutes of basketball we've seen in a long time, way shorthanded.
Which makes the Kentucky game even more of an aberration.
Right.
For the way they lost
and that Florida offense had been held – that's the first time they've been held below 70, and it was 40.
Forget 60.
And it was 44. They had only scored in the 70s 4 times in 20 games. They were the 3rd most efficient offense in the country in KenPom. They scored 100 at Rupp a month ago. I mean, that's what kind of offense Tennessee was going up against, and that's what kind of performance they put out.
With 7 scholarship guys.
With 7 scholarship guys.
Zakai, obviously, huge loss, your leading rebounder, which leads me to my next point. Tennessee just totally flipped the script. Everything that went wrong in Gainesville, Tennessee flipped it on its head. They got dominated on the backboards at Florida. And then today, without Milicic, they out-rebound Florida 40-37.
And offensive rebounds were a big deal. Forcing turnovers was a big deal. Tennessee didn't shoot it particularly well in the first half. Cleaned it up a little bit in the second half, but Florida, I think, shot 24%, something.
Pretty much 20 in the 20s both halves.
2 for 13 from the three-point line. It was points in the paint, all that stuff that you talked about. Second chance points, scoring points off turnovers. Rick kind of said it after the Kentucky game the other night when they won without Lamont Butler that sometimes when you don't have certain guys, it just kind of forces. I don't know if it's like desperation.
And I don't.
You play a little bit more free.
I don't disagree that, but 2 guys is different.
Right.
2 starters.
2 guys that average combined like 22, 11, and 9.
I don't disagree with Coach. I mean, you see it happen a lot. You know, somebody is down a guy and they play better than you expect. But being down 2 when you only have 9 guys to begin with is a big deal. And I thought it was a bold statement, but I don't disagree with him. I mean, Coach called this I think the quote was one of the great wins we've had here.
And they've won a lot of basketball games.
Won a lot of basketball. I mean, that tells you, I mean, he talked about it, but I mean, that statement tells you how proud he was of his guys. I mean, I think just a lot of pride.
And it wasn't backs up against the wall, but this Tennessee team had a rough couple of weeks, and they were ready for that kind of performance. I don't know what gets into Jordan Gainey when Zakai Ziegler's not around. Like he had that really good second half against Illinois in December when Zakai had that 4th foul with 18 minutes left. So whatever he's doing without Zakai, I don't know what mindset changes, but he's in control. He's poised. I mean, he just plays much better when it's his show to run.
Maybe. I mean, there might be something to that. 37 minutes from Jordan, 1 turnover. In a lots of it in an intense basketball game. To have that 1 turnover. Grant. I mean, there were a lot of key moments, but I thought the one that just kind of hang it in the Louvre, capture the moment, kind of right where we're standing.
Right.
Jemiah saves the ball to Cade. Cade, touch passes ahead to Bishop, and then Cade dunks. The place erupted.
Not a single dribble in that transition sequence, and it's 3 guys that played a huge role. I think Jemiah had 8, 8, and 4. That's big for him. Cade Phillips his timing on blocking shots is pretty
3 blocks
incredible
today.
for a sophomore, for a kid that hasn't played more than he has. But it felt like you could just go down the roster. Those 3 guys, Bishop played some big minutes. Like everybody had to do something, stepped up and did it.
D-Stone, I mean, he didn't score a lot, but he was on the floor for 20-plus minutes. And
he scored early when they needed somebody to score.
Scored the first couple of buckets, as a matter of fact. And just the second half, Florida just did not resemble a top 10 team. I mean, it was tough for everybody in the first half, but man, the second half, Tennessee just put the screws on them in a way that I didn't think they were capable of if everybody was healthy.
Am I mistaken thinking Hubbard talks a lot about the close of the first half and the start of
the middle 8?
The middle 8. The way Tennessee closed the 4 minutes before halftime to take that 24-21 lead. Yep. I think it was a 10-2 run, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then 6 straight right out of halftime to start the second half, forces a Florida timeout. Then it's 10. Then not much longer after that, it's 20, and it's out of control.
And you're talking, a 6-0 spurt doesn't sound like much, but when it's 24-21 at halftime,
that's a big deal.
That's a big run.
And it was after a Florida missed 3. It was a Jordan Gainey baseline cut. It was Felix scoring in the paint on a ball that's just thrown down there to him, and he does something with it. And then it's Jordan in the mid-range. Like, it was 3 clean plays and quick offense that forced that.
Yeah, and I think this was significant, Grant. don't want to say it was a must win or back to the wall, but I mean, Tennessee's going to make the NCAA tournament regardless.
Right.
But how they're going to go into that tournament, like as a 6 or 7 seed that everybody thinks is going home the first weekend, or as a 2 or 3 seed that's going with some momentum. And if you're going for the latter, you had to get this one today home.
And you're going to struggle. You're going to go through down moments. You don't want to let that linger. I mean, Tennessee couldn't come out here and just no show today, even though you would have had an excuse not to play well, because you have Missouri coming in Wednesday. Missouri went to
who's putting it on Mississippi State.
One
as
of
we
6
speak.
or 7. They beat Mississippi State by 27 or something like that in Starkville, a tough place to play. I mean, the SEC schedule, it doesn't let up, and you better respond night in and night out, regardless of what happened last time out.
Got to take care of home court. He's Grant Ramey. I'm Rob Lewis. Crazy day in the Food City Center. We've got lots of coverage on Volquest.com. This has been the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break.